Hello, I'm Nadia Ely, and welcome to today's discussion around grid resiliency and its impact on Dominion Energy's grid transformation plan. The GTP aims to safely, reliably, and affordably shore up and improve our existing infrastructure and systems to equip them for the grid of the future. This series explores the various grid resiliency initiatives that play a role in making up the greater GTP. Two of these initiatives are outage management systems and non-wire alternatives. Joining me to discuss the significance of these programs are Director of Strategic Project Execution, Jason Holland, and Director of Grid Solutions, Sean Stevens. Thank you both for being with me. Jason, let's start with you. Can you explain how Dominion Energy's outage management systems are shoring up the grid of the future?
Well, Nadia, the OMS and our outage management system is one of the catalysts of ensuring that all of this technology that we're putting out with intelligent grid devices, the Plisser solution, all these additional exterior solutions, the outage management is the tool that we use to really deploy that and help provide response to the customers. And we leverage our OMS in response to unplanned outages. So going forward, we're going to allow that to connect with all this new technology that we're enhancing our grid with. We're going to be able to then help communicate to customers through our AMI integrations, as I talked about the Plisser integration, understanding what our grid is, the health of our grid, and being able to communicate that effectively in response to our field crews. So it's really going to allow us to really see the information faster, respond to it quickly, and really know what our grid looks like in the field. Through the implementation of the IGDs, intelligent grid devices, we'll have awareness of where those line reclosures at, smart line sensors as well, and determine how we can communicate effectively to our field in response to outages. So I think the OMS is going to be the tool to really provide all the benefits we're seeing with GTP and showing that into our customers with reduced outage times.
Great insights. Thanks for going over those with me. What is a non-wire alternative? And can you give us a brief status update on the pilot program?
Sure. So a non-wire alternative is really an electrical grid investment that's intended to defer or really remove the need to construct or upgrade our traditional components. So when we think of like a distribution system, we think of like wire investments or upgrading a transformer or substation. So this program would potentially either defer or remove that need to invest in that infrastructure. And part of our initial program focus will just be on front of the meter battery storage as a potential option to defer that investment. So a little bit about the pilot program. So it was approved as part of our GTP Phase 3, and we were approved for a 5-year, $50 million non-wires program. Right now, we're currently in the process of installing and testing what we call our energy storage planning tool software. This tool will allow us to really assess the technical and economic feasibility of the best solution. And we think once we get that implemented, get it up and running, we'll start to review projects for their feasibility probably early 2024.
Thanks, Sean. Jason, can you walk me through how the new OMS benefits our customers?
Sure, Nadia. Before I do that, let me just back up a little bit and make sure there's some clarity on the OMS. We've had our traditional OMS, which is TRS, the mainframe application, and TRSI, that's the interface that sits on top of that. We've had that system in play for approximately 20 plus years, almost 30 years now, with multiple customizations to make it really Dominion centric. So it's been a great tool for us. It was the industry leader for years, but now we see that we're at a point in time where we have a lot of technology around us that's going to take us to the next level. A lot of integration with systems and tools to allow us to understand what our grid looks like and really consume that data and process it faster. To do that and leverage all the information, we need to go to the new OMS. We're currently in the process of upgrading our NMS application, that's our network management system, and implementing Plisser, fault location, isolation, and service restoration. Those tools will help communicate connectivity and control those grid devices. So we're going to actually leverage our NMS application. NMS is our switching tool and our OMS. So going forward, we're going to use the Oracle solution itself of NMS and tie that directly together. So you're going to have a switching application, our Flisser solution, and our OMS system all in one solution together. So clearly communicating what the grid looks like, what devices we control, what are feeders, voltage, load analysis. We'll have all this information tied into that and use that to help restore customers' powers faster. So when the OMS comes into play, we're going to have a tightly integrated with our AMI deployment as well too. So we'll understand what AMI meters are telling us and be able to respond to that. Some of the major benefits of all this integration and all this information that we're going to leverage in OMS is one, faster communication to our customers. We recently deployed a pilot solution inside Dominion for our employees before going to customers of AMI outage communication. So that's going to allow us to text customers when their meter loses voltage and when it regains voltage again to help them plan their lives. As we come into the new system of our new OMS, we're going to be able to eventually give them a timeline of an outage. So be able to tell them when their power goes out because we have that AMI integration. We'll have the information from our field to say when they're en route. We'll understand what the cause of that outage was. It a tree? Was it wind? Was it lightning? Share that information with the customer. Give them some scenarios of how many customers are out in their area as well too. Also give them an ETA and respond back to them. So that's one of the biggest benefits. Not only is it reduced outage time, better information on the outage, we're going to give them a lifeline to understand what the outage is going to do to them. How can they manage their lives around that? Understanding their ETRs and knowing how long they're going to need to be in a hotel if they need one, or can they run out, grab something to eat, and come back, and their lights are on. All that through text messaging and communication effectively. So I think some of the major benefits of that is really being able to communicate to our customers more accurate information to plan their lives around an unplanned outage.
Yeah, Jason, I think that's a good point. I think a lot of times we get lost in the amount of work that we're doing around grid transformation, but really the customer is really the heart and soul of what we're trying to overall improve the customer experience. But it does definitely impact the grid. But these are really significant investments for our customers.
Exactly, Sean. It's a lot of work that all of our colleagues are doing to deploy these solutions and really build this reliable grid and ensure, we're effectively creating a system that can retain through storms. But we also need to make sure that we're doing this great work. Let's make sure the benefit is going to our customers. So that's one of be the core focuses of the outage management system is to ensure that not only are we connecting to all this great work we're doing, we're allowing that to help the customer out and making sure they understand that and seeing some of the value and the benefit added there.
Thank you both. Another example of how we're keeping our customers top of mind. Sean, can you discuss the Hanover use case and how non-wire alternatives tie into our reliability strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. So Hanover substation was really our first opportunity to install a non-wires, installation. It was part of the original 30 megawatts that our GTSA energy pilot. And what we did with this installation, it was our ability to evaluate the ability for an energy storage system to really put inside a substation and see if we could reduce the peak load on that substation transformer. So we commissioned the battery in 2022, and we actually were able to demonstrate successfully that we have the ability for a battery to discharge during peak time to reduce load on the transformer, which in turn potentially extends the life of the transformer. And that's what the non-wires program is about. It's about deferring or removing that need to do that investment in that capital infrastructure. We think non-wires alternatives ties directly to our reliability strategy, giving us an additional tool in our tool belt, right? It adds diversity to our energy solutions portfolio. And we're working to always to grow additional opportunities to meet our energy needs across the grid. And we're always looking for cleaner energy alternatives. And this is a solution that will help us meet that demand.
Yeah, Sean, you make a good point there. As you talk about the non-wires solution and system there, I think some of the reliability around that is really the maintaining the health of those substation transformers as well too, by taking some of that load off of them and having that backup. We talked about the OMS and we talked about customer outages. And as we talk about some of this stuff with non-wires, I think building solutions that allow us to reduce those outage times or avoid an outage or avoid constraint on our system is still benefit to our customers. So a lot of great work is being done here with the non-wire solution to provide that new technology and new functionality that we're into now to help us ensure that we're building a system that can maintain and ensure our customers have reduced unplanned outages and unplanned minutes. So
Thank you both. The last question is for both of you. What does success look like for each of these initiatives? Jason, I'll start with you, and Sean, please add your thoughts as well.
Using the project manager mindset, it's deploying an OMS on time, on budget, effectively, benefiting our customers. But honestly, at the end of the day, it's creating a solution within the OMS that can provide the tools that we need for all of our colleagues to truly respond to our customer needs, to ensure that we have a system connected to all the work that we're doing with GTP, to really show the value of why we're moving to this next step. It's really creating a system that can help our customers out. One of the biggest things we hear from customers is when we need them most is when they lose power. So we're creating reliability with all the other projects within GTP, including non-wires. We're creating a redundant system that can manage through these things. But how do we, when we do have an outage that we can't control, the OMS is going to be that tool to help us communicate to the customers, manage those outages, and help our resources understand where there is a problem. Let's respond quickly. Let's get it taken care of, get it restored, get our customer lights back on. So that's how we'll manage the resources, how we'll manage the outages, and how we'll respond effectively. So success in my eyes is us to maintain and continue the success we have with our current systems and even improve upon that. So in my eyes, once we have the system in play, if we can ensure that our customer minutes get no worse, they actually get better over the future, that's success in my eyes.
Yeah, and Nadia, whenever I think about pilot, I think about learning, right? Expanding our understanding and our knowledge. So I think for this, it's how this type of program and technology can be leveraged to both benefit our company and the customer. And there's always the opportunity to leverage multiple use cases with a battery. And I think that's really what we're trying to learn and understand. So is it being tied to market participation? Is it grid services, demand response, bar support? There's lots of things that we need to continue to look at with this technology. And we also need to make sure if it's going to be a viable option moving forward, that it meets our safety and reliability standards. So I think if the pilot is successful, we'll be able to answer a lot of those questions, and we'll feel really comfortable using this as an asset in our grid and on our grid moving forward.
Great perspectives from both of you. I'd like to thank Jason Holland and Sean Stevens for their expertise and participation. Learn more about grid resiliency and the grid transformation plan at dominionenergy.com/grid improvement projects. Thanks for listening and be on the lookout for future episodes. I'm Nadia Ely.